Welcome in, everybody. It's Drew to Smash here once again, picking up with Buffs Dynasty here on College Football Revamped as we are continuing on with the Colorado Buffaloes. We're going to return this to the 90s powerhouse that it was. So, with that, we're here in week 4 after a just heartbreaking loss to the Fresno State Bulldogs. Was a great game there um, by both teams. It was very action packed, lots of offense. So, with that, though, great game. So, here in week 4, we are on a bye week. So, first things first is we're going to take a quick look at the top 25, see what's going on. So we got the Alabama Crimson Tide sitting at number 1 after a big win against Texas A&M last week. Ohio State's 2-0. Utah is 3-0. Oklahoma 2-0. Baylor 2-0. Georgia has a loss on the season. They lost to number 9 Clemson to start their season. Oklahoma State's undefeated. Texas A&M, like we just alluded to, lost to Bama. Clemson's 1-1, as we saw in game last against Fresno that they lost to Miami. Notre Dame lost to Purdue. Miami is moving up the polls there. Michigan's 1-1. They lost to Notre Dame to start their season. USC's undefeated and handled people pretty well. Oregon lost to number 19 Tennessee, so we'll see how that plays into effect long term. Tennessee's 2-0. Wake Forest undefeated. Houston, Purdue, Penn State, and then the team that beat us, Fresno State, makes an appearance in the top 25 this week as well. And then you got Texas at 1-1, who lost to BYU week 1. So with that, we're going to take a quick peek at the conference standings here in the Pac 12, most notably the South, because that's where we reside. USC as well as Utah are both 1-0 on the South side, and then looking at the North side, you have Washington State and Oregon State, who are both losers, so I assume lost to both of these schools. So the Pac 12 definitely representing well as of right now as we go into the nation leaders. We'll start with Brandon Lewis, number 1 in passing yards. So that's a great sign or a bad sign for us. Not quite sure how I feel about that. Followed by Sam Hartman, Tyler Show, I think it's Alex O'Connell, and Spencer Rattler round out the top 5. Getting into the rushing leaders, you got Hughes from Air Force, Ramir Johnson, who absolutely torched us at Nebraska, Greg Bell, San Diego State, S. Tyler at Wyoming, and then D. Lee at Nevada. Round out your top 5. Fontenot sits at 52nd with 218 yards. Receiving leaders. We got R.J. Sneed is atop the board with 404 yards receiving. Perry, I believe I'm going to butcher it, but Perry from Wake Forest, 360 yards. Wiley, a tight end, making an appearance with 347 for the Bearcats. You got El Funanji, 321, and D. Durham, P. Durham, 316 yards for Purdue. So, tackle leaders, again, it's broken since we are a user controlled team, but you got Perry and Barnes at top with 19 and 18 tackles, and Lang making a 16 tackle appearance there. Lang also has 3 sacks for us, which ranks 24th in the nation right now. We have 1 pick from Nico Reed. And then kicking wise, we are sitting at 46th due to Becker with his 41 yard long. So with that, let's look at just our coaching contracts. So as of right now, we're a B minus prestige. Job security still 100%. So we gotta just keep striving to get to that 7 target wins this season. AD not thrilled that we lost, but not pissed off. So we'll take that. All right, let's jump into the heart and soul of any good program, and that's recruiting wise. So we're going to first take a look at our school. Obviously, the first three are subject to just the program. But campus lifestyle, Boulder, Colorado is a beautiful place, so luckily we landed at A- there. B plus academic prestige. The Pac-12 as a conference is currently the fifth best conference as far as average rank goes. Um, the program tradition here is just solid. It's not great. It's not terrible. Um, Overall winning record, losing record in bowl games. Again, the one national title back in 1990, 26 conference championships. So we're looking to build upon that. Like we mentioned, a B minus prestige for myself as the coach. Pro potential, we need to get better, and then we do need to get better across the board here as far as these bottom uh, categories are concerned. So with that, let's jump into what our board looks like. Catching you guys up on, what's been going on from a recruiting standpoint. So Greg Walton, 6'6", 253-pound tight end out of Birmingham, Alabama, has come to the forefront as far as a guy that wants to come to Colorado. Doesn't have a ton of interest from other schools. Definitely fits the build that we're looking for of a big physical tight end. Is a good blocker. Does need some work in the catching realm, but overall does a good job there as well. Definitely has the potential to grow into something really good there. All right, moving into number two here. We have Mario Dykes, a 6'4", 291-pound tackle, three-star recruit, number 41 tackle in the class. Out of Big Spring, Texas. We'll look to continue to build upon the Texas pipeline there. Overall, just a solid guy, not the strongest, but just a technically sound blocker overall. Does have one other offer from Mizzou, but we're looking pretty good for Mario Dykes there. Vision for him is we'd probably bring him in and look to move him to guard based on his size. Not the ideal length that we would want at a tackle spot, but does have that flexibility, so we're excited about that. Moving on to Pete Ginn, a 6'6", 218-pound, three-star recruit, number 112 outside linebacker from Los Ranchos, New Mexico. Again, doing pretty well as far as he goes. Looks to be the ideal edge rusher to play that right outside linebacker slot for us. Can rush the passer as well as is good in coverage. Not the fastest, but offers the size, speed, most notably the versatility that we're going to look for in that slot. So definitely got a massive lead on him. As far as other schools, we are the main school that is interested in him. Moving on, Brian Carlson, 6'1", 175-pound corner, three-star recruit, number 59 corner in the class, out of Syracuse, Utah. With him, great speed, really good in zone, not a great, he's okay in man, terrible tackler, but with that, it's the athletic profile. You combine a 6'1" size, could be a potential NFL guy based on his size, speed, assuming he comes to Colorado and is able to develop that coverage ability, could turn into be a really good corner for us. Moving on, Mark Berg, 6'2", 203-pound, three-star safety out of Humble, Texas, number 41 in the class. Looking to bring him into our safety depth is not going to be great after this year. Not the fastest safety. Could look to move down to play middle linebacker for us. with his 71 strength, great hit power, good tackler, okay man coverage, not greatest zone, 74 block shed. So this guy would be an easy candidate to move down to be a middle linebacker for us. As you do see, he's got a handful of offers from Ohio, Army, Tulsa, so forth and so on. So we'll be looking to continually bring him in. All right, the gem of this class, the guy that is a must-have for us is Mike Miller, a 6'3", 287-pound D tackle, 4-star, number 4 D tackle in the class from Durango, Colorado. The only reason this guy wants to come here is because it's home. So with that, again, great power, great finesse moves, great at getting off blocks, can make tackles, huge prospect for us who is ready to come schedule a visit with us. So with that, assuming that we can try and get the job done against Oregon, we are going to schedule him for then try and get a boatload of points if we're managing to pull off that upset. Moving on, George Brown, a 6'2", 188-pound free safety out of Hiram, Utah, 3-star, number 52 safety in the class. Just kind of a solid safety. Does need to develop his man coverage as well as his zone. Not a great cover guy, but he will come down and make tackles from that safety spot. So that's a big reason we're in on him. Next, we have James Mays, 6'4", 191 pounds, 3-star athlete from Edgewood, New Mexico, 64th ranked athlete in the class. Really good speed, 91, good acceleration at 85, good jumping. Does have the qualities to be a corner with 77 man, 76 play rec, 77 zone, 74 press with 71 catching. Gives us a 6'4" corner. Don't hate that. Also, could look to be a receiver, 71 catching. But outside of that, I think his two positions that look to be the most actually reasonable are corner or quarterback. With his 79 throw power and accuracy, he could be a great dual threat option. Does have a handful of offers from other schools, but could look to be a really good dual threat long-term option for us. Next, moving into the wide receiver room, we're looking at Cedric Young, a 6'5", 223-pound, 3-star wide receiver from Klamath Falls, Oregon. 88th ranked wide receiver. This guy's a straight burner. Doesn't do anything else well other than he does run good routes. Definitely need to work on his catching, but the guy can absolutely fly. As of right now, we are his only offer for Cedric Young, so hopefully we can look to bring him in. Nick Butler, 6'1", 191 wide receiver from Vidor, Texas, 3-star, number 151 in the class. Again, burner, runs fairly good routes, not a great at catching the ball, but we know that we can develop catching with these receivers long term. Speed is one thing you can't coach, unfortunately. So, with that, moving back to the defensive side of the ball, Scott Davis, 6'5", 243-pound outside linebacker, number 107, 3-star from Broken Arrow, Oklahoma. Great speed, doesn't rush the passer well, does tackle, and is not great in coverage. We'll have to work with him on developing those pass rush skills, but I do think he is a great player that could either possibly move inside or continue to come off the edge with that speed. So with that, we move on to Derek Alexander, another one of the probably key guys that we need to look to bring in. 6'3", 243 outside linebacker from Tuckahoe, Virginia, number 52 outside linebacker in the class. Again, good speed, great first step off the edge, and he is going to be an ideal pass rusher for us with his finesse moves, can drop, in coverage, and we're the only ones with an offer on him as of right now. Um, so we're going to drop his points actually while I think about it, and look to continue to try and bring him in, but he's going to be a great fit coming off the edge for us long term wise. Then lastly, we get to our 6 foot, 186 pound strong safety, Mario Robinson, 3-star recruit out of Cam, you got me. From Wyoming, 27th ranked strong safety, 89 speed, does tackle well, does need to work on his coverage a little bit, but biggest thing is he's going to come down and make tackles. We've noticed that from our safety spot in particular, uh, we struggle to make tackles. So we need to come down and find some people that can make tackles in the run game. So with that, those are the 13 players that we are for sure 100% in on and trying to get to the University of Colorado immediately. With the rest of our board, we are exploring, kind of poking around with other players in particular. So with that, we got like Craig Williams, the number one corner in the class, surprisingly, has zero interest or offers from anybody. We got Thomas Rhodes out of Iowa, Manuel Blunt, a tight end out of Texas, Patrick Estes, 6'6" D end out of Hawaii, Kenneth Evans. So I'm not going to run through all these guys like I did the other ones. However, what I will show you is we do have some scouting left to do with these guys. So Philip Liston, great player. Chuck Murphy looks good. Joe Robinson goes down. Ross Jones goes down. Tyler Rogers goes up, however. Richard Johnson decreases. We get a decrease on Todd Lewis and an increase on Andrew Fernando. So, with kind of the rest of our 900 points here, we are going to offer Craig Williams as well as Thomas Rhodes. Manuel Blunt, would love to get him, as well as Patrick Estes, Kenneth Evans, George Fox. Yeah, well, I would like to bring him in. Joe Taylor, Jonathan Walter, Courtney Walton was somebody I did like. I do like Keith Jordan as well as Schaefer. Philip Liston's going to move up to the top of this list with Craig Williams as far as guys, and we will offer him as well. But yeah, so these are the guys we're just kind of poking around, seeing what's going on with. So I'll keep you guys updated when we get to the next recruiting update. So with that, though, that is where we stand as far as recruiting goes. I'll delegate the rest of those 300 points, and we'll keep things moving along. So with that, we are all done with week 4 and our brief recap of where everything stands as far as the dynasty goes right now. So with that being said, again, like the video, subscribe to the channel. Buffs Dynasty going to be coming at you frequently and hot. We will be good with videos through Thanksgiving holiday, and make sure that we are continuing to pump out the content for you guys and keep loving it. Engage with me in the comments. Let's get it rolling, and let's build this community. So with that, have a great day. Drew Smash signing off. Make it a great blessed day, and we'll see you guys in the next one. See ya.